In this video, we're headed to a UNESCO World Heritage Site right off the coast of Senegal called Goree Island. Now, although this place is small, at one point in time, this was one of the largest, if not the largest, slave trading ports in Africa. What you're seeing right now is myself and a guide heading to a ferry to get to our destination. Now, on this island, the main place, or the first place that tourists flock to, is the House of Slaves, where the door of no return is located. So because the majority of tourists are going to head there straight, my guide recommended that we go and start our tour on the other side of the island, where it'll be less crowded. And so that's where this video begins. Lastly, this tour was around maybe, I want to say three to 4 hours, maybe 3 hours. So there's a lot more to see than what's in this video. I had to condense it and cut out some parts. And also my camera died, so I wasn't even able to film everything. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and start the tour.
Red houses were built by French, pink houses by Portuguese and Dutch, and yellow houses by British. So this island was occupied by European nations for slave trade reasons. It was a transit center. Portuguese were the first European to start the trade here in 1536. And from 1536 to 1848, Goree Island was a transit center for captives. The World Heritage sign. So when the Portuguese arrived here in 1444, they found the native people here and they moved them to Dakar. And in 1536 they started the trade. They financed African war fighting each other, and every defeated person can be a slave. And this was the concentration camp, dungeons, where they kept deport the captive before the shipment to America. So this place is a public place called Place de la Libération, because you see the statue of freedom just there, a couple celebrating freedom. This statue came from Guadeloupe in the West Indies. 2002, they were celebrating here the end of slave trade. They're standing on a drum we call djembe, because in the plantation they were using the drums to communicate because it was forbidden for them to speak to one another. And with the drums, they announce on what day, what time they have to be in action, and some captive can fly away, can run away. Even now in Senegal, in our tradition, so we have drums to announce fire accident, to announce death, and people who are educated in our traditional initiation, they know what happens. And you see, statue de la libération de l'esclavage. Slave trade ended in 1848, and that came from Guadeloupe in 2002. The statue.
Oh yeah, man.
And they have one in Guadeloupe facing this one.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
I know the tourists are in the other side right now, so I do the opposite.
Oh yeah, now it's good. So it's clear. Yeah.
So when you're gonna be at the museum, so they're gonna be out.
It's a good strategy.
Yeah.
It's a perfect strategy.
Yeah, this is a veteran guy. And look at the houses. So this house have very nice sunset view of private villa. There are some residential area. So we'll walk in, let me see. So this is the mayor office and the baobab tree. Celebration of the African Cup of Nations. They paint the baobab tree, the Senegal flag. Green is hope, yellow is wealth, red is the freedom fighters. And the star is the gathering of Senegalese, despite our differences. The ground floor were for the captives, and upfloor for the white traders, and only domestic slaves had access to upstairs to clean the house. On the ground floor, we used to have between 100 and 200 captives staying here 3 months before the ship to America. And why the slave trade? Here you see Europe. They came to Africa, here on Goree Island in 1444. And they went to tribal war, and every defeated African could be a slave. The king, queen, or landowners, once defeated, they were sold, and they stored them on the island like a depot, 3 months before to be sold, and then shipped to America. That we call triangular slave trade. And in America, they work on the plantation or the mine, and the profit build the Europe. This is how they build the Liverpool, Amsterdam, France, Nantes, Bordeaux, and Lisbon. And this lasted 300 years and a half. 300 years which Africans were fighting each other to protect themselves, because a value of a man was one rifle. A man of 120 pounds, the value was just one rifle. The value of a child depends on the teeth. With healthy teeth, the child value was 1 mirror. And the value of a pregnant woman was cheap. A virgin woman were like a man of 120 pounds. One gun, one rifle. A room like this was a man. 15 to 20% were here during 3 months before the departure to America. They were chained and shackled around their neck and arms. They released them once a day to go to the toilet. And after they locked the door, if there is a need, so they never opened for them. And they were drinking rainwater, and rats and mice were drinking the same rainwater. That's why they were the plague epidemic. They fed them with beans and the palm oil to be fat enough. Because less than 120 pounds, they're gonna die during the trip. Because the trip to America was 3 months inside the boat. These dungeons you see here were for men only. Because at the time, they should not mix men and women in one cell. They have to separate them. The value of a child was just a mirror. They were laying on the floor, so many kids, we don't know the number exactly. They never see their parents, even the parents are in the house. They separate them to parents. And the shipment, dad go to Brazil, mama to Cuba, the child to Haiti or West Indies. It was a total separation. They need the kids to pick up the cotton with the small hands. And the value of a child was just a mirror. This part we call the sardine box. The sardine box. The age of a child was 9 to 12 years old. The young girls here, they call young girls those who have shaped breasts. They were considered young. And they have a larger cell like here, but the young girl had toilet, it was here. And that goes directly to the ocean. All the other slaves had to go outside to the bridge. There was a wharf here for toilet. But the young girls had toilet here. Why they had toilet here? Because the white masters had some girlfriend among them, and they don't want those girls to contaminate them. And they had toilet here. And the value of a young girl was like a man of 120 pounds. One gun or one brandy. But those who don't respect the rules, they drop people here. 6 to 7% used to be here to be weakened because they don't want them to inspire the other slave. And when we receive President Mandela here, the protocol said, no, you can't enter in here. But he stayed inside 15 minutes. When he came out, he was crying. I say maybe he was remembering time he was in jail. 6% here, staying here until reforming or dying, and they throw them at sea. And that's why there were many sharks here.
Close to the water.
Every morning they open the cells, and dead or agonizing captive were thrown at sea. And that attracts sharks all around the island, because there were 28 houses here. And they don't want those sick captive to contaminate the other ones. So they just throw them sick. If you see the house from here, upstairs was for the traders and down was for the slave. And directly it is the door of no return. On the ground floor here, between 100 to 200 captive was here. And upstairs is just for the white traders. You're gonna see upstairs when we come down, it will be empty here. And you have a better view. When going to toilet, they have to carry this ball of 10 kilograms and the chain in between. If they jump in the water, so they die. So they are careful.
Oh yeah.
So this is the process of enslavement, tribal fight, and they were the market at the shore, and they ship them.
Prendre une photo de famille ici, vite fait.
And the Pope, John Paul II, apologized because the Catholic missionaries were involved in slave trade. This is the door of no return. So it's bye-bye Africa. It's the last part of the continent touched by the captive before they trip to America, to unknown destination. Now they go to Brazil, remember to Cuba, the child to Haiti or West Indies. It was a total separation. Between 12 to 15 million captive from West African coast was shipped to America. 60 million died of deprivation or imprisonment. This is the transatlantic slave trade. We have the Sahara slave trade between Arab and black people. And we have the slave trade in the East Africa, in Zanzibar. This is why you have some black Indians. They stand here. When they go to toilet, if they try to jump in the water, they shoot them. And there are many sharks already here. Look at how thick was the wall. And the ventilation. And this was the waiting room. The day of the departure, they chained them here, 2 by 2. So if they chain 2 persons, they can't swim. So the waiting room. Because from the dungeon, they wait here the day of the departure. And they went through the small canoe and from the canoe to the vessel. And the trip to America, to unknown destination. And total separation. Every new arrival has to stand here. They touch the muscle, open the mouth, and pay. And once paid, they brand here. So that's why they have numbers. And the captive was just here. Only domestic captive that cleaned the house were allowed to access here. The captive for the trip was all the time under. And I wonder how could they live inside here if all what was happening here. It's like living in a castle and living in a barn. Because every morning they hear the cries of the kids, but they don't care. And this was their accommodation. This was the rooms. The first market was Senegal, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Togo, Nigeria, Cameroon, and Angola. The ones from Cameroon and Angola, we have many of them in Brazil. That's why you have Acapuera. Acapuera we don't have in Senegal, but it's in Cameroon and Angola. We have Benin, we have Vodou. That's why we know that from Haiti originate Benin, because we have Vodou in Senegal. Vodou originate from Benin. And they found on Goree Island this chain and shackles. And a sailboat like that, they used to be under, and during the day they come up and walk out, and they wash them. They shower with water from the ocean. 30 meters long, 8 wide, 300 persons inside. And this was the box they used to transport the rifle and these materials. they exchanged for having a captive. And they were deported to America where they were treated worse. That's the dark page of African history. And in the plantation, 29 on the back. Even if it is a pregnant woman, they dig a hole, place the stomach, and beat on the back, 29. That's what we call it. And this is Toussaint Louverture and friends that helped to free Haiti. And Haiti was the first nation to be independent from France on 1804. Toussaint Louverture gave independence to France. He defeated Napoleon. And slavery lasted from 1536 to 1848. Slavery ended here on Goree Island. And in US 1865. And in Brazil 1888. The kitchen and the toilet. And they used to stand here and see the captive going to toilet. And from here they control who is sick or who is not. And a small canoe transport them to the vessel waiting there. And then the people America. Why they choose to go to the island? Because it was isolated. The white European could not be attacked by the African king because they had rifles. But the captive can't swim away because all around the island there were sharks. That's why Portuguese were defeated by Dutch to occupy the island. The Europeans were fighting to control the island because once you have the island, you're sure that you will not lose your captive. But you will not attacked by the African king.
Walking through history. Yeah.
See the ocean there?
Yeah.
Hello, welcome, brother.
Hey, hello.
My name is Fatima, and you?
Sylvester.
Huh?
Sly.
Lai.
Sly.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Wah, Dani?